All right, guys. Well, tonight is Tuesday, September 20th. It is fall. It's the third week in September. Sorry, guys. We're just going to have to deal with the dog in the call tonight. That's just what it's going to be. Tonight's topic is branding yourself. So this is actually a great call. I'm so glad you jumped on, Elizabeth, because this is probably great content that I don't think it was ever taught to me as a brand new coach. It's not necessarily something that I'm telling you that you need to master tonight, today, this week, or this month, but I really hope you can take some nuggets from this to start thinking about yourself and what that means for you to be a coach and honestly yourself. So first, do you have a little notepad? I want you to jot down a few things as we're talking here.
Nope, but I'll get one really quick.
Okay, great. Yeah, because I think that'll help as we talk about a few things here. So I'll let you grab that.
Sorry, I have kids. I'm eating dinner and kids are trying to help me.
Aww, know the feeling. Usually I'm often eating a lot during these calls. I'm kind of lucky that I'm not. I should eat while I'm leading the call. But I did that last week. So
no judgment.
Yeah.
Hey, we all need to eat sometime, right?
I know, exactly. So while you're grabbing that, Elizabeth, I'll kind of start sharing a little bit about what we're going to talk about, which is, we're taught in Beachbody to identify with our brand. And then once we identify with our brand, we're supposed to kind of quote unquote market to this brand. And, as a new coach, that kind of sounds super salesy when we're saying brand. But what we kind of mean by that is it kind of goes back to figuring out who you are as a Beachbody coach and what those pieces are that make you. So, once you have your notebook all situated, I want you to think about 5 things.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I'll grab him.
Between kids and a dog.
I know. So I want you to think about the 5 things that are unique about you and write them down. So that can be life events. It can be personal traits, personal qualities about you that make you unique. Something that sticks out about you from any other coach that's different from Julie, than from me, than from Loretta, from Danielle, anybody in our network and in our teams. Think about the things you've been through, experiences, just anything. So jot down 5 things. You don't have to say them to us right yet, but
good or bad or both.
Anything.
Yeah,
okay.
Anything. Just 5 things that make you, you. So write those down.
Okay.
And as you write them down, I'll probably ask you to share them maybe towards the end of our call.
Okay.
But, so those 5 things, are kind of be the core of what we're going to ask you to think about yourself as a coach. I just keep repeating that.
Okay.
But ultimately, you are more than those 5 things. We are more than those 5 elements that we write down and we jot down or that we think of ourselves. But in order to really take that to the next level, you need to think a little bit deeper and get a little bit more specific. So I'll share with you mine. So for me, I am a wife. I am a dog mom. I love helping.
Command.
I know, relentless. Riley really fits the bill of being passionate for my team's mission statement right now. So wife, dog mom. I love health and fitness. I'm a grad student, and I kind of put down helping people, which sounds super vague, but I've been working in the mental health field for over 3 years now, so I think it kind of really ties into my passion for wanting to help people. I'm in this field, I'm also in this health field and coaching, so to me those are kind of my elements. Did you want to maybe share yours, Nicole?
Yeah, sure. So, Elizabeth, I'll be honest with you. This is my favorite topic ever. I'm obsessed with the topic of social media and branding. So mine are a little bit quirky, some of them, some are normal. But I work in the corporate world, so I try to brand that specific market, working in a cubicle, work cafeteria, things like that. I'm to a dog mom. He's downstairs with my husband, or else he would be barking as well. I am, so Claire's, her third one was health and fitness. My third one is coffee. So
what was it? Your third one was which one?
Coffee and donuts. So I sound much like a police officer, I'm aware, but I am a coffee fanatic. All things coffee, ice cream, shakes, regular coffee, and I love donuts. So donuts don't obviously love me, but I use that kind of humor in my posts sometimes. Which brings me to my fourth one, which is comedy. A lot of my posts are, I try to throw some comedy in there just because I want to make people laugh and I want to make them feel comfortable with reaching out to me and understand who I am. And then lastly, I am a morning person, which I know sounds absolutely insane. I fall asleep at 9 o'clock at night usually, but I am happy to get up in the morning. And so a lot of my posts are around setting that routine. And once you establish a routine, you can kind of stick with it and it just becomes your new normal. So I try to play off of that a little bit because I know that that's really tough for people and it's tough to get out of that rut. So I really try to hone in on that piece of who I am to attract like-minded people and let them know that, even if you wake up at noon sometimes, that's okay, but trying to set up that routine will help you get to a better place.
Yeah. And, no, and I feel like I can relate so much to that part too. And to kind of piggyback off of that, so speaking back to your brand and building your brand, your brand is what you've been through, what you're about, and where you're going. So for me, I wrote down wife, dog mom, health and fitness, grad student, and helping people. But you have to think about it this way. How many people are wives? How many people are dog moms? How many people enjoy health and fitness? How many people are grad students? And how many people like to help people and work in the mental health field? So that doesn't necessarily make me unique or make me stand out to anyone. What makes me me are my experiences that I've had. During grad school is where I gained a lot of weight, and because I was struggling to have time to work out and fit and balance my priorities. So hey, Enter Beachbody was a huge game changer for me. I'm a wife, but I also value my family. I value my time with my husband. I value those things, and I communicate that to not only my team, but I communicate that in my posts, and I share that with people, and I share my love of my dog, and so, and kind of I love the part about who you are is also where you're going. So that kind of may also be your goals too. And one of the Nicole and I were talking before the call. One coach, Kelsey Pape, said this really awesome. She was with health and fitness, where I'm going is I'm gonna get back to my low weight that I was at last fall. I'm gonna lose another 15 pounds. I'm gonna get shredded, and I'm gonna get more toned. And I don't necessarily need a 6-pack or anything like that, but I just want to be at a healthy weight. I don't necessarily consider myself unhealthy right now, but I'm going to lose that weight again, and I'm going to be fit, and I'm going to feel good about myself, and I'm going to be financially free. I'm going to pay, my goal, I don't care when it happens, but I want to use Beachbody as a vehicle to pay off my student loans and my husband's student loans. I'm going to be a full-time coach one day. Again, I have a goal set for when that will be. I don't for sure know when that will happen, but it's a goal, and that's where I'm going. And that's not necessarily something I communicate on Facebook because of my coworkers being friends with me and stuff like that. But, communicating, just talking about your journey, your story. And I love, we were just saying this before, it's it's easy, I think, for our husbands to look at us and think, God, wow, you just post nonstop. But the truth of the matter is, it's not because we're aimlessly posting and hoping something sticks. each post, I like to believe that, Nicole and I craft each of our posts with a purpose. It might be lighthearted and it might seem really stupid or silly, but there's always some kind of purpose behind posts. And one coach said this really great. She was like, you need to treat your page, your personal page and your social media like a live blog. So you're kind of just like literally out there sharing yourself, sharing your journey, sharing your ups and downs, so because if it's just a highlight reel, anyone has a highlight reel. Anyone has like the perfect selfies and things like that, or the perfect meals if you want to go that route. But, being authentically you is what makes you you, and what are going to make people connect and want you to be their coach. And because people are going to come, there's a reason that people are going to eventually want to sign up with you and want you to coach them versus coming to me or Nicole or Julie or something like that. And it may be hard to believe right now as a new coach starting off, but it's, I guess we were talking, belief is going to have to be a whole nother call, I think. A whole nother topic one day. But
so I have a good example of that too. And something it took me over a year to realize, and it kind of happened on accident. So Elizabeth, you probably don't know this, but I hurt my foot a couple of months ago, and it sidelined me during summer. So like my workouts were very few and far between. And that really kind of crushed my inner spirit, because that just was a part of my life. I'd get up and I would work out and I would go to work and I'd come home and I'd be done for the day, right? So I started learning ways to modify and sharing that with my followers and showing them that, yeah, even though I'm crazy about fitness and I love to crush burpees and do jump squats and all of these things and throw around a sandbag, life happens and I have to modify too. And so people aren't afraid of those burpees or those jump squats or those things, because I'm showing it can be done in a way that isn't going to kill you. So for me, like, I had to rebrand myself a little bit and show them that I'm not perfect and I have to modify, and I, still want to move forward, and I'm not going to let it sideline me. So I think keeping in mind, like, you don't have to be this crazy fit person to share your journey is so important. And it took me a long time to get there. So just had to share that. It popped into my head as you were talking, and I just feel like it's one of those things where you have an epiphany and you're just like, wow, why didn't I think of that before? It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't have to be in the best shape of my life to share what I'm doing.
Yeah. Which makes sense. I mean, nobody's life is perfect. You have your ups and downs, and that happened to be one of your ups or one of your downs, but you made it so that way it was a positive thing.
Yeah, and that kind of goes hand in hand too with, like, a lot of times, and maybe Julie has talked to you about this too, is like, for new coaches starting off, like, we always say that you don't need to be at your goal weight to be any kind of coach. Because people don't relate to perfection. People don't relate to the six-pack abs. There's a reason why you were attracted to Julie, whether you guys were obviously friends before this or not, but, like, there's a reason why you were attracted to her journey and her story. Because Julie was by no means at her goal weight when she started, but look at her now. She's, like, had a wicked transformation, and girlfriend is definitely smaller than me now. She looks phenomenal. But the same thing goes for you and all of us here too,
Yeah. And I think so. Claire and I were talking about this before too, to remember what attracted you to the business. Like, when you're posting and you're building your brand, think about why you got here. What attracted you in, and how can you use that to help build your brand and show people who you are? Because if you're not sharing that, you're not going to attract those same types of people to the business or the fitness journey or the nutrition aspect. So just keeping that in mind, I think, is super important. I have a really good quote from Bonnie Engel. So if you don't know her, she's in the top 10, and she spoke at Summit this past June. And she said, you can either be a first-rate version of yourself or a second-rate version of somebody else. and really honed in on not being a carbon copy. So keep that in mind as you're building your brand. As Claire mentioned, people are going to relate to you for specific reasons. So be authentic, be true to who you are, speak your truth in everything that you speak on social media, because people are going to take that as Bible. When they're reading that, they believe it. One thing you can do for a gut check, so sometimes they call it the BFF rule. Sometimes, bless my husband, I make him read my posts before I post them. But if you walk around your house saying your post out loud and you wouldn't say that to your best friend, don't post it. You need to feel comfortable. You need to feel true, and it needs to be that feeling in your gut that you're doing the right thing by posting what you're posting. So I say you need to be comfortable. We're always saying get out of your comfort zone, but you need to feel good about your posts and know that you're being authentic and you're trying to reach a certain person by posting what you are.
I think my biggest struggle with like trying to post something is I always second guess. So like I'll post it and then I'll be like, oh, I probably could have said it like this instead. And then I'm like, ugh. And so then I just overthink the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I haven't been posting. And I'm like, maybe if I start small and work my way up, I'll get there.
Yeah, and I feel like we were just talking about this, like literally like this exact same thing. Nicole and I fail constantly. We will do, again, a whole nother topic. I'm just going to start writing down all those topics that we're going to do. So to piggyback, Nicole's BFF rule is awesome, but what I don't want you to get, I don't want you to walk away from thinking, oh gosh, everything has to be perfect, because honestly, like what you should be doing as a coach, and I don't mean to make this sound like scary, like a command or anything, but you should definitely just be going out there, posting and sharing, and done is way better than perfect. It's so easy to feel super self-conscious about your posts and content as a new coach because it's terrifying kind of coming out. And I think Nicole and I can definitely relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you're right on with just starting small. And like, I think the easiest post to start doing is just being proof of the product. Like sweaty selfies, talking about your workouts, meals. Like I've seen you post some things about your meals. That's awesome. And maybe incorporating how that fits in your meal plan and talking about that, your shakes, and talking about your journey. Obviously you don't want to do just Beachbody all day, every day. I think it's good to sprinkle. You want to obviously have Beachbody part of your day, but sprinkle it in with normal stuff too. But you'll find your rhythm. I mean, I've seen you out there, so just know that
I like try every now and then. Like sometimes I'll be like, oh my god, I made some like really good food or something, like my lunch or my breakfast. Like I'm really good at definitely both of those, and I'll eat it, and then I'm like, crap, I should have taken a picture of it.
Well, what's good still, like you can turn that around and be like, oh my god, my healthy meal was so good tonight, I could barely, I snarfed down because it was.
I forgot, yeah.
But you know what, it's okay. Again, it's okay. Like, honestly, so much of this is just learning as you go.
Yeah, true. And just even if you're not posting it, you're recognizing that that's who you are. Like you want to share that type of stuff because that speaks to you and that will speak to somebody else.
Just be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Nicole, did you want to jump into some of your content?
Yeah, so a couple of things that we just wanted to kind of drive home when it comes to social media were, keeping in mind what attracts you. So some of the ways that I think of how I've structured, I suppose you could say, my social media, and believe me, it's taken me a while. I was not great at it initially. I look back on some of my posts and I had like advertisements from Beachbody just like glued to my Facebook page, like no pictures of me, not sharing my story, just like who wants to buy this for $129.95 with $2 shipping. Like it was ugly and I own it, right? I've learned from it and I'm moving on. But kind of just following other people who are similar to you. So there are people out there that I really relate to. So I relate to them for a reason based on what they're posting. So it keeps me in check so that when I'm posting things, I can keep in mind that I want people to relate to me for that same reason. I don't want anyone to think I'm a salesperson. I'm not. I couldn't sell ice to an Eskimo. Like, I really am not that type of person. I want to help people and I want them to feel better about themselves for a reason, whether that be with health and fitness or just connecting with me is really what I value. So following people that you might relate to, and I'm sure, you know, we could provide you with a list of names if that's something that you're interested in, just to kind of go out and scope out their social media pages, just to see what they're posting and what types of content they have out there. So keeping that in mind, and then also auditing your own social media. So this is something I do to myself probably on a monthly basis. I'll go through and be like, oh my God, why did I post that? What an idiot. But I learned from it, and then I craft my post in a different way the next time I post something similar. Sometimes I go a little bit emoji crazy, which is really annoying, and I don't know why I do it, but I can't help myself. So I try to like gut check myself when I'm doing that too, and just kind of reread my posts. I don't spend an hour on it. Like, I don't have time for that. I posted something tonight about having the same number of hours in a day as Beyonce. Like, it's true. I have stuff to do. So kind of giving it the once over after I'm done with it and being like, yeah, that works. That's who I am, and posting it and just kind of letting it go and reevaluating at a later time. So definitely encourage you to do that once you start to get in your kind of double checking, going back to it and saying, what am I sharing too much of? What am I not sharing enough of? Because I know I can be guilty of sharing a lot of dog pictures sometimes, and not sharing enough about what I'm actually doing with my fitness or nutrition and things like that. So you definitely want to make sure that you're well-rounded. I think we touched on this a little bit before. So those unique things about you. So I try to target all of those things in some capacity throughout the week. I may not always hit on all of them, but I try to keep them in the back of my mind. So we want to make sure that we're sharing our story through the products. We talked a little bit about this, but even if it's something like you're taking a walk and you have your Shakeology shaker cup in your hand, like, you're not necessarily saying, hey, check out my Shakeology shaker cup, that you have it in your hand. So you're proof of that product. People are seeing you walking around with it, and you're posting a picture that you're taking a walk with your dog or your kids, and you have that with you. So you're not screaming from the rooftops that you're trying to, you know, help someone with Shakeology, but it's there. You're proof that you're using it and you're drinking it and you're, you know, exercising or whatever you're doing when you have it with you. And then lastly, I think I already covered this one. So your vibe, speaking to your tribe. So you want to target the people that you want to help and that you want to be a part of your tribe. I know for me, I'm not really trying to target 20-year-old men. So I'm not really, my posts aren't crafted to those people. They're crafted to people like me who are, you know, in their early 30s and they're, you know, trying to make a buck in the corporate world, and really trying to cram everything into a busy lifestyle while having a social life. So I try to speak to those people. I'm not trying to please everyone. I really got in a rut with that in the beginning. But you have to try to push that aside and really just speak to the people that you want to be part of your tribe, whether that be coaches, challengers, or just people that follow you. So with that said, I don't know how long this goes for, but I did want to, and we'll post this for anyone who missed the call too, but we're going to have a worksheet that we'll send out to you that you can use as a resource and maybe bring back to our next team call. So creating your personal brand, and there'll be 3 columns. So the first column is what's normal about you. So I use that term loosely because really, are any of us normal?
Yeah.
So you'll write down all of that stuff, like what's normal about you. The second column is what have you overcome? So we've all had obstacles in our life. What are yours specifically? You know, you don't have to go into too much detail and share your life story, but what are some of the things you've overcome? And then the last thing is what makes you special and unique. So that kind of ties back into the 5 things that we talked about at the beginning of the call. So really sharing, you know, why would people relate to you? What makes you special? Why does that define you? What is your brand? Because at the end of the day, we are not Beachbody. We do not work for Beachbody. We are health and fitness coaches trying to make a change, trying to help people. So we want to define who we are, right? So people don't just look at us as Beachbody. So we'll post this worksheet for you so that you can bring it back and kind of work on it and work through what your brand is. So that'll give you a starting point to start crafting your posts.
Yeah, and I think what I'm going to have our team do, Elizabeth, is I actually am looking forward to doing this myself. I'm going to make it a homework assignment for us all to do this week, and I'll give you guys a deadline, maybe between now and next Monday, so it's done before our call, so you guys, everyone can kind of take a look at it, maybe work on it, and like maybe screenshot a picture of your answers to our team page, so that we can kind of all kind of see where we're at.
Okay.
One thing I was also thinking of too when you were talking, Nicole, is one thing ever since I came back from the wedding and all, one thing that I've been really trying to focus on is I like the BFF test, the BFF rule, but Kelsey Pape also said this really cool, like trying to craft your posts in like in the actual voice and the words that you speak in, which I know sounds like, I don't know, maybe straightforward when you're posting. Excuse me, because like you are like obviously posting in your words and things like that. But I don't know, I guess I've been trying to, ever since I started really thinking about that and thinking about the way that I speak, it actually makes me feel a little bit more relaxed when I'm crafting my posts.
Yeah.
Because I kind of exaggerate a lot when I talk. I wish I could like communicate with my hands via like, because that's clearly what I do. But yeah, sometimes I do like to, when I have the time, I do like to use a lot of emojis too. Most of the time, if it's a longer post, I don't bother because I don't like have time to sprinkle them through. But, you know, just have fun with it. And, you know, it's easy to get in your head and think that the world is watching every post that you make and judging your every move. But honestly, it's not that people aren't watching and aren't going to be inspired by you, but at the end of the day, like, every single person in your network is not watching you. And I know as a new coach, it's easy to feel like, I mean, it's a scary thing to post. It's an act of being vulnerable. It's an act of putting yourself out there. Saying yes to coaching in the first place is basically saying, yes, I am going to put myself out there on social media. And it's very terrifying, but I think once you get in this cycle of sharing, it kind of becomes a little bit of a routine in a way, kind of like your workouts and your shakes and things like that. So, I mean, there's clearly a reason you said yes to Julie and, you know, have jumped on our call and things like that. So I know you'll get there.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah. So did you write down 5 things about you or get you?
Yeah. I actually came up with, I think, 6. I mean, I could probably take one of them off because, I mean, it's not really like a positive thing, but it's also like a big factor in like how I'm trying to pursue this.
Sure.
I guess. So I came up with like self-conscious or like confidence.
Uh-huh.
And then I have mother of 2 that are young, under 3. And then I have accountant, because that's what I do.
Uh-huh.
It's my full-time job.
Yeah.
And then I have that I love food, because who doesn't love food?
True. Yeah.
And then I have on there that my, you know, I guess it's not really, I mean, I guess it could be part of the 5, but being healthy, like that's what my main goal is. Like I just want to be healthy, and
yeah,
you know, that's what we all want to do.
Yeah.
And then my last thing was just busy. I'm always on the move and doing something.
Yeah. No, actually, I think that's a really solid list. I think you definitely deserve all 6 of those. Yeah.
The last one, I was just like, you know, I'm just like listening to you guys talk about like how to what you say in your posts kind of thing, like just be you, and like thinking about me, and I'm like, well, I'm always busy, like when I'm like this morning, I've been up since like 4 or 5 o'clock this morning, whenever my daughter woke me up, and then I've been running since. I'm still going. Like this is probably the first time I've really sat down and like relaxed, because I don't get to really relax. Even though I sit at work all day, I don't really relax.
Right. Well, and I think Nicole and I definitely think Julie, I think all of us can kind of relate to feeling so busy. And I think even just sharing your journey of feeling busy and how you talk about, and one suggestion is, you can talk about how you make time for you in like doing your workouts and trying to eat healthy so you can be the better mom that you want to be, or the healthy person that you want to be. Like in that angle, if that relates to you. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Oh no, yes, it does.
Yeah. But something that helped me a lot, Elizabeth, and I can find one and post it to our team page too. Because if you're struggling and feeling so busy, and feeling like, how can I fit this all in? Starting with something like following a post schedule and taking the time in the evening. I think Nicole and I do this too. Sometimes we'll write out, like I've done this where I write out a post on my phone in the notes section in my phone for the next morning. So all I have to do is copy and paste it and post it the next morning. And that way it's done.
Okay, yeah. Because I do know that like at night, to wind myself down to go to bed, I like play on my phone just to kill the time and kind of just like, just don't even think about anything, because I've been running all day. I'm exhausted, but you got to get your mind to settle down.
Right. Well, and that could be, maybe the sacrifices, and maybe instead of playing the games, or maybe shorten the time that you play the games, you could replace it with crafting a post for a little bit. And then I think a good starting place is posting, a minimum of maybe like twice a day. If you're not a regular poster, maybe shoot for a minimum of once, but I would make a goal of twice a day if you can, and do like a morning and evening. And when I would try to do the same thing to help craft for the evening, if you're super busy from the time you leave work to getting it home at night, like now, if you have a moment during lunch, think of some content that you'd want to work on, and that could be your other opportunity to write something out in your notes section. That way, when it comes dinner time, all you have to do is copy paste it. And it also gives you the opportunity to think about what picture you want to put along with it, take any selfies you might want, or maybe it's a selfie at dinner or something from Pinterest or whatever. But that, I think, when I was super busy last year, that's honestly the exact rhythm of what I did, or found little breaks in my day.
I think it's important too to remember that not every post has to be a journal. Like you
right.
can, just a sentence, right, with your posts. And for people that are busy, they can really relate to people who are busy that for a 30-minute workout, or to make a 3-minute shake, right? It takes you 3 minutes to blend your shake in the morning, rather than making an omelet or pouring a bowl of cereal and then eating it. Like you can take that with you on the go. So I think that type of stuff is like, it's quick and you're doing it, but it's hard to remember that it's quick and you're doing it when it becomes such a routine and other people aren't doing it.
Right.
It always blows my mind. I'm like, wait, people actually sit down and eat breakfast before they go to work?
Yeah, I don't know how people do that. Usually I take it with me.
Man, I wonder if I should try having my shake for breakfast. But yeah, I mean, sometimes it's just kind of getting in the rhythm of thinking about it. But I'll see if I can find there are definitely some good post schedules out there. I think Nicole and I have also talked about making one for our teams anyway. So we'll probably do one for new coaches. That's probably a good.
Yeah.
Another thing. Man, a lot of ideas tonight. We're probably about to wrap up in just a few minutes, but we'll post and I want you to take, obviously, I think for you, the biggest thing to focus on, obviously, is you and who you are. But mainly, you don't necessarily need to dive into the whole branding thing at this very second. I think for you is obviously just managing your schedule and looking and trying out posting this week, and maybe try implementing a few things that we talked about tonight. And what we'll do next week on our next, we'll maybe check in and see how it went for you this week.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad to see you get on, even as busy as you are.
I know. I was like, I'm going to get on tonight, and I'm going to figure this out. I set a reminder on my phone so I would remember, because I literally will get home, and I'll look up, and it's like 10 o'clock, and I'm like, oh, my God. Where did the night go?
Yeah, we can totally relate. So I would not the baby part, but I can definitely relate to running around and cut off. So I'm so glad you jumped on. But I look forward to seeing you next week.
Yes.
All right, ladies. Well, have a great night, you guys. And I'll have hopefully some good nuggets from the retreat this week. So
all right. Have fun.
Thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to it.
Bye.
All right, guys. Have a great night.
You too.
Bye.